Taiwan's strict new border controls came into effect Thursday, placing the country into a state of semi-lockdown. All foreign citizens were refused entry, with the exception of residence card holders, diplomats and those with special entry permits. Thousands of Taiwan citizens flew into Taoyuan airport despite new rules requiring every traveller to self-isolate for 14 days.
Because I have a lot of important stuff in Taiwan, so and I was in Taiwan 5 days ago, so I just come back directly and it was like, oh.
Passport in hand, this French citizen is intercepted by airport staff. He boarded this flight from Singapore around 1 a.m. on Thursday, hoping to get back to Taiwan, but the border is shut.
Even if I stay quarantine here in the airport?
He said he would rather self-isolate at Taoyuan airport for 14 days than leave the country, but that's not an option. This British citizen nearly faced a similar disappointment. He boarded a flight that left the UK on Wednesday before the new controls came into place, but they took effect while he was in Singapore, catching this connection to Taiwan. Immigration officials took pity and allowed him to scrape over the border.
Cry, probably. Yeah, because my baby's here and my wife is here.
Under Taiwan's semi-lockdown, foreign citizens without a residence permit are now banned if they try to enter the country on a plane that left the ground after midnight last night. Taiwanese citizens are also required to self-isolate for 14 days upon entry, no matter where they've come from. Long queues formed at immigration counters this morning as quarantine officials took extra time to verify travelers' documents. The airport says approximately 9,276 people crossed its immigration control on Thursday. As the COVID-19 pandemic sweeps the world, many overseas Taiwanese are rushing home to take shelter. At the taxi rank, the line stretched up to 700 meters. That's because travelers are banned from taking public transportation after arriving. As they begin their 14 days isolation, their only options are private cars, rental cars, or taxis.
It's been 2 hours. I'm exhausted. It takes ages, but never mind, this is the only way to get home.
The lucky ones are picked up in family cars. Those heading to destinations in the north can take quarantine taxis. Those heading further south have to hire rental cars. That costs 1,000 NT to Miaoli or 2,950 NT to Pingtung.
It's rather inconvenient, but never mind, we must all pull together in times like this. The price is reasonable. After all, it's only slightly more expensive than hiring a car from here to Kaohsiung would normally be. But these cars have to make extra quarantine protections. The Ministry of Transportation and Communications is working hard to arrange quarantine-appropriate vehicles, which will be able to deliver people straight to the door in a smooth manner, even at peak times. In addition to the normal shifts of drivers at taxi ranks, we will be adding 300 to 400 extra taxi drivers and increasing the availability of rental cars from around 30 to 200.
As strict new controls come into effect, thousands of citizens were happy to comply with the rules, no matter how difficult. They consider themselves lucky to come home to Taiwan.